Pleasure. Now tomorrow morning at 8:30 in the morning, we're going to know how many jobs the United States added in July despite the COVID-19 surge that we're experiencing. Remember, the June report was hailed as the beginning of the end of the economic meltdown. Why? Because, well, back then the unemployment rate went from 15% to like 11%. 5,000 Americans were hired back, mostly due to the lockdown ending in most states. So what's the expectation for tomorrow? Economists are saying somewhere around 1.7 more Americans will have gone back to work in July, which would mean this quick recovery, this V-shaped thing that a lot of people are hoping for, that may not be on the horizon. Not if we're going from 5 million to 1.7, right? But let me bring in an expert. John Grace knows a lot more about this than I do. He directs Investors Advantage, and he's good enough to join us now. I know the numbers aren't in, but we're getting some pretty good indications of what might happen. First of all, let me just ask you that. John, what do you think the numbers are going to look like tomorrow morning at 8:30?
Well, I think they're going to look as good as they might. Probably won't be as depressing as we might imagine. We haven't seen the end here. Of course, this COVID thing is a disaster of epic proportions. But let's recognize when we look at the numbers, whatever they might be, Rick, they kind of are the average, which is a good way to look at them. But when we look at how this COVID-19 is impacting for minorities and women. So we have to keep those things in mind as well. They're the front line in many respects.
We lost you for just a minute, John, but I think what you were alluding to is the fact that there's a certain part or a certain sector of an economy that is being hit harder than others, right? And this is where we get into that conversation you and I have had in the past, Wall Street versus Main Street, right?
Correct. I mean, for example, just to look at the state of Illinois, if I'm not mistaken, we all remember last year we were crowing about 4% unemployment. And there are two things here. One, we need to look at the quality of that employment, the quality of those jobs, the quality of those incomes. And then in the state of Illinois, when nationally, I think we were at 4% unemployment, best number we've seen in about 50 years. In the state of Illinois, the number for Black folks is more like 10%. So, that's graphically different, 4% to 10%. 10%, if that were national, we would not be doing backflips.
There's a lot of people out there watching us right now, and they're thinking, well, what is the unemployment or employment picture? And everything I've read in the last 24 hours preceding or preparing for this interview with you led me to believe that the real problem experts are seeing is long-term employment, that the days of people getting a job that they're going to keep for a long time may be over.
Well, they've been over for quite some time. They're over in Japan and they're over here. And that's what I'm saying. Let's not just look at, a 4% increase to income. If your income's $1 million, 4% is meaningful. If your income's $30,000 or $40,000, $50, $60 a month, that's not very meaningful in these United States of America. So if we're talking about the enjoyment of the boats rising on the sea, those boats need to rise for everybody as opposed to those without a paddle or those who are sitting on the sidelines who can't even get in the water.
John Grace, my thanks to you, sir, for joining us and taking us through. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll be reporting on those numbers when they come out at 8:30 in the morning. We'll have the figures here, and we'll try and analyze them for you as well. Stay safe, stay connected. Check into portable TV if you get a chance, so you can watch us and keep us in your back pocket, as I like to say, on your cell phone. In the meantime, we'll be looking forward to seeing you again here on The News with Rick Sanchez, where, as we say, it's always time to do news again.